Now, nearing 1,000 days of Russia's war in Ukraine. The Washington Post is reporting President-elect Trump spoke to Russian President Vladimir Putin, Trump reportedly telling Putin not to escalate the war.
But the Trump camp saying, quote, "We do not comment on private calls between President Trump and other world leaders. President Trump won a historic election decisively, and leaders from around the world know America will return to prominence on the world stage. That is why leaders have begun the process of developing stronger relationships with the 45th and 47th president, because he represents global peace and stability," unquote.
The Kremlin is also rejecting reports of a phone call, and Kyiv saying it's unaware of the conversation. Joining us now, Tony Shaffer, U.S. Army retired lieutenant colonel who served on Trump's 2020 campaign as national security advisor, and Glenn Ignazio is a retired Air Force Special Operations commander. Welcome.
Good morning, Emma.
Good morning. Good morning indeed.
Good morning.
Okay, so Tony, let me start with you.
Sure.
The confusion about whether the call happened, whether it didn't happen, could this become in any way problematic for Trump, even before he's sworn in January?
No, let me split this down. I was also on the 2016 transition team, and I was in Trump International in December when the Trump campaign then was reaching out to all the nations. As you might recall, that a call to the Russian ambassador is what got Mike Flynn in trouble. So deja vu all over again, Emma. I think that's what the Washington Post is going for here. They want to set up a narrative saying, oh, they're already being nefarious. But I think the Trump campaign responded appropriately. We're not going to talk about calls we make. It's our job to start engaging with world leaders. Do I believe the call happened? Yeah, I do. I don't necessarily think it was President Trump speaking with Putin, but I do believe they've already started the official kind of reaching out, talking to each other, setting up how to actually frame the contacts in a very positive way in January. So both can be true. It could be a call that was not official. Maybe Trump spoke to Putin. I think he probably did at some point. And it could also be not official for the denial. So at this point, though, we have to be very careful about any framing of any story by the mainstream media based on what we saw over the past year.
Yeah, and that's important, at least for national reporting here at Newsmax, that we get the facts out and as they are and as they are confirmed. And right now, again, it's a denial that story is out there. So just staying on point here with the overall broader perspective, Commander Ignazio, of Trump promising to get this war ended between Russia invading Ukraine. Do you see that as a possibility as he begins to build his cabinet moving forward to Inauguration Day?
Well, I think he's building a great cabinet, and absolutely, I think this moves this in a better way. One of my critiques about the Biden-Harris administration is that there was no engagement. I would not speak to Putin, as you would quote Biden. And you have to engage with the other side if you're going to try to get to some kind of resolution between Ukraine and Russia, and that was just completely pushed off. So the idea of engaging with Putin and discussing what the options are. Another thing is being a leader in the United States on the world stage is saying, hey, what about a ceasefire? We can stop the killing right now. And that's something that can give you a good premise to start getting some kind of negotiation with either a DMZ or whatever may come about in the future. But the idea of taking that leadership and stopping that particular combat operation is pivotal. And I think he could do that within 24 hours. And that does stop the war. Now, what the resolution will be between Ukraine and Russia, we'll see. But I think he's in a great position to start this and to back up what he really wants to promise and deliver to the world.
Yeah, it'll be fascinating to see Trump foreign policy in action come January. And yes, the reports also that Trump made a call with Zelensky, and Elon Musk was also on the line joining the conversation there. So what happens next, we'll wait and see. Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaffer and Glenn Ignazio, thank you both for joining us today. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Emma.
Thanks.
Have a good day.
All right, coming up, the New York City subway fatal chokehold trial resuming today with more witness testimony. The big question, is it helping the defense's case that Marine veteran Daniel Penny was acting